Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video, and today we're going to be talking about every movie I watched last week. And overall, last week was an interesting one for a few different reasons. It was the kind of least busy week of movies I've had this year. I only got to watch 9 movies this week, but that wasn't really for a lack of trying. I was definitely trying to watch some more movies, but Mel was sick all week, so she was home all week. So we mostly watched a TV show, which I am going to talk about, which we'll start off with. But Only Murders in the Building. We watched seasons 1 and 2. We started season 3 tonight, but we're going to finish it next week, or this upcoming week, I guess. So yeah, I mean, season 1 and 2 were not bad by any means. I would say they're both good seasons of TV. I enjoyed them. I really enjoyed the second season more. The second season was definitely a better one, in my opinion. The first one was pretty good, though, too. And yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about either of these shows or either of these seasons, but even the show as a whole, it's a good show. I don't think it's anything special, but it is one of Mel's favorite shows, and it's kind of like a comfort show for her now as well. She absolutely loves it. So we're gearing up for season 4, which is just around the corner. So yeah, quite exciting. Last year, I remember when Only Murders in the Building season 3 was out, or was coming out. Dancing with the Stars was coming out every week as well, and at the same time, Ahsoka was coming out. So it was a really good time for all of us because I was watching Ahsoka, we were watching Dancing with the Stars, and she was watching Only Murders in the Building. So, anyways, let's get into the movies of the week. And I gotta say, this was one of the worst weeks I've ever had in watches. A lot of low rankings. My highest overall ranking this week is a 73, which is really quite low, especially for me. So, with that being said, let's start it off with my least favorite watch of the week, which is Blade Trinity, which I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time on this movie and this trilogy. I got to watch the Blade trilogy for the first time, and I must say I did not enjoy my time with it at all. Out of the 3 movies, they get a combined rank of like 46. Is that correct? No, that's wrong. 56 out of 300. Somewhere around that. So, you know. But we'll start it off with Trinity, which is my least favorite. So that's a 17 out of 100. And yeah, I mean, none of these 3 movies have many redeemable qualities, in my opinion. They are really uninteresting, and all 3 of them just remind me so much of Spawn, and I just have severe PTSD from that movie because of how brutal it was when I watched it. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but absolutely no enjoyment really for me from this trilogy. I feel like my ranks are honestly pretty generous because I literally cannot tell you anything about Blade or anything that happened in any of these 3 movies, but yeah, a 17 out of 100. So let's move on to Blade 2, which I ranked 1 point higher, an 18 out of 100. And honestly, I could have ranked all 3 of these movies the same because they just meshed together. Like I said, I really cannot remember anything from any of these movies, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, I ranked this one an 18 out of 100. I don't know why people enjoy these movies, but obviously to each their own, but these are not for me. I can understand why people would like them, but these movies are so 2000s, which I just don't like. I really don't like that style, especially not of action movies. So yeah, I really struggled with that. I think that's a big reason why I don't like this trilogy. So, well, with that being said, we'll move on to Blade, which I ranked a 19 out of 100. Like I said, all 3 of these movies could have been the same ranking. They all could have been lower. I feel like I was pretty generous with my rankings. But all 3 of them get a 1 star. And yeah, I just, overall, not a good trilogy. One of the worst trilogies, if not the worst trilogy I think I've watched. That's probably my lowest ranked trilogy, if I had to guess. The first one is kind of a highly rated movie. I think it's got an average of like a 3.4 on Letterboxd, which is pretty good, actually. but I'm obviously in the minority of not enjoying that movie. So, yeah, just not for me. So let's just move on up next to Drive Away Dolls, which I think is my first Ethan Coen solo directorial watch, which I ranked a 39 out of 100. This was just a really odd movie with a really unenjoyable main character, which is Margaret Qualley's character. I don't even remember her name, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. This was just really weird. Didn't really sit with me. I didn't really enjoy it much either. I don't know. That's kind of just the theme for this week. A lot of these movies I just didn't enjoy, and this one is really no different. So yeah, just not for me. A 39 out of 100. So it's not my least favorite 2024 watch, but definitely not my favorite. So let's keep moving on to Pain Hustlers. And I heard okay things about this, most of them not being great, but I heard a few good things about this movie. I really just wanted to watch it because Chris Evans is in it, and you're going to see a theme throughout most of the rest of the video, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. But you can read my review. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting story, but I just don't think the execution is very good in this, especially coming from a great director by David Yates, who made some really great movies in the Harry Potter franchise. But seeing him outside of the Harry Potter franchise, I really didn't enjoy it a whole lot. I ranked this movie a 52 out of 100. It's just okay, it's nothing special. It's a little uninteresting for what should be an interesting plot. And the fact that this happened is really crazy because I've never heard of this movie or never heard of this situation. But yeah, overall, it's just an okay movie. So let's move on to The Iceman. And this is, again, kind of where the theme comes in for the week. I watched 3 movies this week with Chris Evans in it that were all based on true stories that I had never heard of, which I thought was really interesting because it's kind of my own fault. Well, it's 100% my own fault because I'm trying to go through some of Chris Evans' discography or filmography. I'm trying to get him to be my most watched actor on Letterboxd, which he, I believe, technically is, but as a star, he's not. He's right behind Samuel L. Jackson, who is my number 1. But that's kind of the reason why I'm watching these movies that you've probably not heard of. And this is one of them, I would say. And also in my review, you can read this. I wonder how many movies like this one exist, an action thriller with a cast with a lot of big names that no one's ever heard of. Because like Michael Shannon, Chris Evans, David Schwimmer, Winona Ryder, Ray Liotta, like this is a pretty good cast. It's just no one's ever heard of it. At least I don't know. I've never heard of it until now. Until I went deeper into Chris Evans' filmography, I never heard of this. So obviously, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I ranked it a 63 out of 100. Nothing special here, really. It was fine. So let's move on to my favorite of that, I guess, trilogy of true stories that Chris Evans was in, which is the Red Sea Diving Resort, which I actually enjoyed this one a little bit. I ranked it a 67 out of 100, so this is definitely my favorite. Well, this was my favorite watch of the week until tonight's watch, which is kind of sad. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great, but I think it's decent, and it's almost good, I would say. 67 out of 100. And, I mean, as a Netflix movie goes, that's pretty solid for me. A 67 out of 100 is pretty solid for a Netflix exclusive. And I truly only watched this because Chris Evans was in it. I remember years ago when this movie came out, I wanted to watch it, especially because, I don't know, I just love Chris Evans with his long hair and the beard. He's just a very attractive man and made me want to watch this movie. And, well, ultimately I enjoyed my time with it as well. So that's not bad. A 67 out of 100, like I said. And we'll move on to my second favorite watch of the week, actually, which is The Whole Nine Yards. And I've heard of this movie from my mom. She loves this movie. I know that. She's watched this movie many times. Overall, it was decent. I ranked it a 69 out of 100. It was an interesting plot with interesting twists and characters. But overall, not a great movie, really, but I did enjoy my time with it, and it was an interesting movie. I mean, it was just okay, I would say. That's really the best way I can describe it. So like I said, it gets that 69 out of 100. And let's move on to number one of the week, which is from Up on Poppy Hill, which I will read my review for this one because one thing I love about Hayao Miyazaki films is the amazing characters and their development, which I unfortunately didn't feel as much in this movie, which is my first Goro Miyazaki film, who I believe is the son of Hayao Miyazaki. So, yeah, I mean, I just didn't really connect with the characters in this one as much as I would in like Hayao Miyazaki film. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I still did enjoy this movie. Like I said, ranked it a 73 out of 100. And maybe this is probably opening up the door for me to get through more Goro movies because I really want to watch Tales from Earthsea as well, which I think might be his most popular movie. So, yeah, I mean, I'll probably do that maybe this week. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I definitely did enjoy my time with this. It is my favorite movie of the week, which is kind of surprising and kind of sad, too, because it's only ranked a 73 out of 100. So, with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.